Welcome back, the old two-stroker YouTube channel. My name is Wayne. Today we're going to work on some junk, and then we're going to drive some junk. So stay tuned. I'll take you for the adventure with this old rig here, our 76 F250 with the 453T Detroit. This video you're about to watch is going to be its first time on the road since 1995. So, and it's a bit of an adventure. There's some bumbling and some failure, and well, it's always fun. So here we go. Alright guys, here's what we got. All I did was roll under it. Notice the wet spot. And we got us a leaker, fellas. Like two little pinholes in the tank there. It gets better. I don't know what the shit happened up here. But this thing, look at this. What the f is that? There's just a hole in it. Jesus Christ, somebody just punched a friggin' hole in the tank. So we're gonna let that drip for a while. See if I get something else for back here. I might just put another hole right here. Just to let it drain, so it drains a little better. You know what? I think it'll drain better if I pull the filler neck off, actually. Pull the cap. That should help. I can't believe that shit. So now we gotta try to find a tank for this. I'll look on Rock Auto and see if they have one. If they do, I'm just gonna order it. We got that god awful abortion air intake out of here. Look at this thing. This makes me so angry. I can't even... Who does something like that? I don't know. I'm not happy about it. Anyway, I went out to the shed. I had a couple Donaldson filters kicking around. And this one is just perfect. And I even have an elbow for it. And it sets right down on the fender. It's only going to get the 2 bolts, but hell, it's way better than what was there. So I'm not real terribly worried about it. We're going to bolt it in and friggin' send her. Oh, by the way, I got looking around. There is a door key. I couldn't see it because it was in the way of the tag, like you know, like the dealer tag on a key ring. There is a door key, and the door key does fit this box, so it was super easy to get into. I didn't even have to break into it. So there's a shitty secondary filter in here that's like super roddy, like we're not using that. There was also a primary filter in here, which we did use. And then got rid of the bypass and plumbed the primary back in, all the fuel line in it. So that's good. Once we get that new tank in, it'll be good to go. There's this shitty box in here. Looks like it was probably just full of filters at one point. Probably because that other tank is right full of schmoo. You got this bag here, and there's like, I don't know if he's gonna do the rear end over or the fronts, but there's a bunch of bearings in here. Got bearings. Got some seals. This gotta be. That it looks like front, like you're gonna do the front hubs. That's what that looks like to me. Anyway, we'll put them back in there. They look good. I sure wish they kept it this color. What a cool color. It was probably like a state truck or something. Such a shame to paint over that, but maybe that's just me. So, I'm well on my merry way. to being slightly less miserable. Once the tank comes in and we do that, we should be able to take it for a ride. All right, fellas. Bolted in, nice and tight. Friggin' done. Use some big thick washers under there so it wouldn't bust up that panel. Not too shabby, huh? Alright, welcome back. We're back here working on this shitty Ford. And you can see I got it in the air. It's been like 2 weeks. Took forever. But I just finished buttoning up the fuel system. I had to have this fuel tank renewed. Because the Rock Auto listing is not correct for this truck. For whatever reason, the tank from Rock Auto does not fit, like, at all. And it was a total nightmare. So I had the one that was in there redone at an obscene cost. It was like $700. But I was stuck. Like, what was I gonna do? It was either that or make one from scratch. So whatever, it's done. I'm gonna go get some fuel and then we're gonna fire it up, hopefully. All right, fellas, we're back. We just got some fuel put into it. Let's hang on, I got an issue. That's better. Just hook up the battery here. So I had this disconnected. I was using it for something else. That ought to do her. Let's see about. Where the friggin' dipstick on this thing was. Here it is. Looks good for my house, fellas. We're gonna send it. Alright, next what we gotta do, well, let's open the door. Boy, that's pretty thick snow. Oh. Friggin' Detroits. What I gotta do now is get rid of my oil pressure gauge. It's pretty clean. I'm sure the majority of it was just cheats from being cold. But I got a oil pressure gauge just setting down here. Got plenty of oil pressure. We'll let it run a bit. We'll let it warm up, and then I want to get that oil pressure gauge off there and take it for a ride. Another thing I gotta do is fix this throttle cable. It like sticks. It'll work. Return spring. I'm not sure how we're going to do that. I got a throttle return spring on here. And as you can tell, it's idling super low. Like, that's got to be 400, 450 RPM. It's way too low. But it's warm now. It's 140 degrees. I mean, it's been running 10-15 minutes, dude. It like doesn't really build no heat in this temperature, so not a bad thing. But even at like 0 RPM, we got like 12 pounds of oil pressure, which is wild. That's friggin' great. These 453Ts, like hot idle, you know, you're looking at like 5 pounds usually. So let me figure out what I'm gonna do with the oil pressure gauge. I might run to the store quick and get like them 3-pack of gauges, like, you know how you have like oil pressure, temperature, and like alternator voltage. It had that in it at one point, and they like hood boogered it. They must have robbed all the stuff out of it when they knew they were getting rid of it. So like this oil line was connected, and they had it folded over and taped. Like if that ever let go, dude, you'd blow all the oil out of the motor and friggin' blow it up. Stupid. Ignorant. And the coolant one. So here's your coolant temperature. The capillary style runs up here because they just cut it. I friggin' hate people. So I'll probably get a set of gauges, put a set of gauges on it. All right, fellers. We got working gauges. Well, 2 gauges. I didn't hook up the voltmeter because the factory charge indicator works. So I adjusted the idle. And what I want to do now, I started playing with it. It ain't right yet. So it's like a digital tach. That's right where we want it. Sounds good. Kill this. So, I don't know if you can see all the fluid over the window. That's fucking great. And it's all soaking wet in here. I didn't even see it. I don't know how I didn't see it, but I didn't see it. And I was back there working on the gauges. They actually had a fuel pressure gauge on it at one time. And same deal. They just left it. They like plugged it, like taped it off and left it laying there. I don't know how it wasn't leaking before. It must be me moving my big fat arm in there doing the gauges, broke the line. So I fired it up and it like kept stalling. I'm like, what the hell? And then I looked up and the friggin' windshield's covered in fuel. Classic. Anyway, I'll put the cover back on the governor. That's all by feel back there. 2 7/16 wrenches is what this one took. Which, if I remember correctly, is right. And, you know, it's got a lock nut and the bolt that changes your idle. So it's just this cover. These are 1/2 inch. Easy. Actually, it was pretty easy to get to. I'm really not mad at it. Yeah. So we're almost ready to go for a ride. I want to wire in the lights, I want to wire in the gauge lights so I can see at night. And boy, I think that's about it as far as like before we can just like take for a quick ride. So all right, fellas, next day I was out here till like 2:30 this morning, well 3 o'clock, working on this junk, and show you a little bit about what I found. I installed gauges, fancy new sender down there. Oil pressure's all rigged up. Got friggin' voltmeter. When I was hooking up the gauges, I was like, man, I started testing for power in different places, looking for power with the headlights so the gauges would illuminate. And there's just tons of hot wires in this truck that don't belong there. They went to nothing, like terrible. So I pulled every bit of what you see here out of this friggin' thing yesterday. All of it scrap. Didn't need any of it. So what we've got, working set of gauges. That ain't too shabby. fuel. Whoops. Oh yeah, fellas, our stupid ass is totally out of fuel. I was able to fire it up in reverse and like back up to here. And I started going up the hill, but the sender's kind of like right in the middle of the tank. So like, as soon as you get on a hill either way, it just runs out of fuel. So it legit stalled and I coasted back to here. So now we get to do the walk of shame back to the house. And go get some friggin' fuel. What a dummy. Alright fellas, well we got the clutch adjusted. We're gonna try a different camera mount. We got fuel in the tank, that is key. And I put the clamp on that yours truly forgot. So I think you're gonna go on, we're gonna use the camera for a mirror. Sounds perfect. Extinguisher is your fucking
my responsibility.
Boy, that truck is right behind. These are mirrors. That's just that's like cool. It never happens to me back here.
I know, middle of nowhere. You got your seatbelt on?
I did. I don't have nothing with me.
You got nothing? You don't have your wallet?
No. I got nothing.
Here, I got it.
Well,
How you doing today, guys?
oh, how you doing?
Hey, how we doing?
Shannon, Fulton County Sheriff's Office. You know why I'm stopping you today?
I have an idea.
Yeah. What's going on?
I live right around the corner here.
Okay.
I just bought this thing and I was taking it for test drive. It's been in the shop all week working on it. Alright, fellas, well, it's a few days later. I think 2 to be exact. Since our big police adventure. But I thought, since it's been freezing cold out, and now it's snowing, and it's all sorts of shitty, we, might better do a cold start. What do you think? Smoke? Yeah, we're getting smoke. Sweet. There's a can in the bed. Who knows if that's any good? Ah, come on. Perfect. edition. Thanks for watching the Old Two Stroke YouTube channel. Had quite the adventure with this old rig. The intent for this one is we're just going to rehome it. I bought these all over the country, had them shipped here, so to find one in my backyard, I wasn't about to let it go. I probably paid a little too much for it, so Probably gonna ask a little too much for it. But it's a super clean inside Ford with a 453T. Good luck finding another one. We're doing a few more things to it. I'd like to put some tires on it and maybe take it for a real ride and get it up to speed and see how she goes. But for now, it's a running and driving truck. Really happy with it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.